The Ministry of Finance issues a notification to manage and facilitate the import of fuel so that supplies reach petrol stations nationwide on time.
น้ำมันพอเขาเข้ามาเนี่ยนับแต่วันที่20มานี่ถือว่ามือวันที่20เนี่ยเขา5ล้านกว่าลิตรตัวความต้องการทั่วประเทศนั้นมีแต่3ล้าน5แสน
In line with a pledge made in the National Assembly, or NA, the government has directed various authorities at international checkpoints to ensure fuel imports speedily reach petrol stations across the country. The government made a promise last week at the ongoing National Assembly session that it will ensure there are sufficient fuel supplies nationwide from June 20th.
ทางกระทรวงก็เห็นดีว่าควรจะได้เอามาขนขวาขึ้นเบิ่งใส่ว่าจะปรับใช้ในกฎมาตราใดที่เป็น
The Minister of Finance, Mr. Bunjom Ubunpasir, told National Assembly members the government has decided to provide a letter of credit to firms involved in importing fuel so that adequate supplies can be dispensed to petrol stations nationwide in order to meet the demand for fuel. Following the announcement in the National Assembly, the Ministry of Finance has issued a notification directing the Directors Generals of Tax and Customs, the heads of the Provincial Tax and Customs Offices, and the heads of customs offices at the international checkpoints to manage and facilitate the import of fuel so that supplies reach petrol stations nationwide on time. The notification signed by the minister became effective from June 17th.
ปรับโครงสร้างขึ้นให้เพื่อให้ผู้ประกอบการนี่สามารถเอาน้ำมันไปสู่ชนบทให้มันท่วงทันนั่นแหละมีแต่พวกเขายังข้างมีแต่เขตชนบทเนาะส่วนเมืองใหญ่ซึ่งว่าเกิดว่าปกติไปแล้วปัจจุบันนี่
The finance minister suggested in the notification that the directors generals of tax should direct the heads of tax offices in Vientiane capital and in the provinces to work in collaboration with officials of the industry and commerce sector to facilitate the distribution and allocation of fuel to petrol stations. The minister also called for continuous monitoring and inspections to prevent traders from increasing the prices above the rates set by the government. The minister asked the Customs Department to direct officials at different border checkpoints to prevent any possible illegal import of fuel. If any such cases are detected, the legal process should be initiated. The notification advised concerned officials to strictly implement their task.
ก็ถือว่าเพียงพอแต่ว่าปัญหามันหันมันหิวกันมาดนเนาะรถมันขาดทั้งน่ะดิอันนั้นหอดมือเลยไผก็มันซุ้มใส่
The Minister of Finance on behalf of the government assured the National Assembly last week that sufficient stocks of fuel will be available from June 20th, as the government had reached an agreement with the companies responsible for supplying fuel last Thursday. At the same time, the government also issued a letter of credit for procuring 200 million liters of fuel to the Laos State Fuel Company, or LSFC. Laos has faced a serious shortage of fuel for months after the price of the fuel in the global market rose sharply. This also drove up the price of consumer goods and contributed to the weakening of the value of the Lao Ki. The government has said there will be sufficient supplies of fuel at least until August, and timely arrangements will be made to procure fuel for the agricultural season as well.